Welcome, everyone. Uh, Starting, I guess, a little bit earlier tonight. Wasn't planning on streaming because I've been dealing with a canker sore, but I think it's like either healed or just I've learned how to deal with the pain. So, alas, here we are. All right, I guess we'll start off with what I have been playing. Uh, so I teased on my Twitter. I just tweeted out that we're stealing tech from Esper Vibe tonight to test, and that's the Fourth Bridge Prowler. But before I get into why I'm playing that or testing that, um, the other 74 I have been playing the last two nights, and two 4-1s, a pair of 4-1s, and I've liked this new list a lot. If you want something for Steak and Show, I think like a disenchant effect might be pretty nice, like Mass Vandal. Outland Liberator might be worth testing for you as well. In my experience, there's no real creature in my opinion that single-handedly beats Sneak and Show. If you want, you can test like a Mesmeric Fiend or a. I think the mana's kind of bad, but there's Leovold or Galactique. But I think your best bet might be just a Mesmeric Fiend because that represents a tutor target for Artisan, and typically discard effects are good against A plus B combo decks, which Sneak and Show is. So the thing that I have been testing is omitting the Elvish Spirit Guide, which have been okay, right? Like I've liked them a lot against these Moon Zombie shells, but I felt like the deck was starting to plateau in terms of progression and innovation. So I reevaluated the main deck, which had been very solid, and I did a review stream with Kern earlier this week, um, with the list that he played, which was the list I gave him right before the showcase challenge, that he ended up top fouring in. But I evaluated the main deck again, and to me, the only card that I was willing to give up at the moment was the ESG because what they end up doing is making your control matchups a little bit worse because I don't really want to have to spend cards in the sideboard to bring in against control, and I otherwise would have felt kind of weak against control. Which I in the showcase challenge I beat control, but it was much tighter than I really would like to admit if that's what it makes. High Lumen 88. Um, so that's why I cut it. So what I added in its place was I moved one endurance from the sideboard to the main because that's how you make space in the sideboard, right? The one card that I really wanted was the Caracas. So I added that back. And earlier, for those of you who were on Matt's stream watching, he's still streaming at the moment, but typically we had one flex spot land in the main deck, and that would be in the past Caracas, and then for the showcase we played Wasteland. But I think we want the Caracas because that helps a lot against the Merit Lage decks. It helps against Minsimbu, which is pretty neat. I think a lot of those Minsimbu decks tend to play Wasteland now too. So by moving the endurance to the main, I had room for another card. That card ended up being the third Snuff Out. I tried Fatal Push like before that, and I just think Snuff Out is just so much better. Like zero mana is broken, right? Like I don't need to remind people too much that free spells in general are broken. Now this spot here was a Plague Engineer, but I don't actually think Plague Engineer is that great at the moment. Like against majority of the top decks in the format, at least the popular decks in the format. It's probably good against DNT, but DNT actually boards out Thalia against us, so its effectiveness against DNT is a little bit worse than out of other decks. So I wanted like some removal spell. I thought about Espravon that they used to play this card, and I think what I've learned in the past is any creature that is like potentially borderline playable is probably significantly better in our shell. We learned this from Sigmal, like it got at the time the benefits of being. Thank you for the follow alert, sir. Being found out once upon a time, you can. Well, this is before Fiend Artisan, but eventually we Fiend Artisan for it. But it triggers Glimpse of Nature. It adds mana to Cradle, especially with the evoke cost right on the stack. evoke trigger on the stack, and then it's another creature to natural order for. So it's just like a lot of random like creature bonuses I would say that it gets, and I think in theory, I kind of wanted at least to play this prowler for fun. If nothing else, if it ends up not being good, that's fine. But I like it in theory because it's a one mana answer to these pesky X ones like DRC or Delver or Mother of Runes or whatever, right? Depending on the board state, but it leaves a body, which is nice. It's found off Artisan, and then the body part is relevant because it's adds to the Cradle map, adds to the natural order map, and then it can be pitched to Artisan for another relevant creature. The idea is maybe it's better than it looks because our shell really provides bonuses for playing creatures, right? Like that's the gist of it. So I think without further ado, I'll go ahead and start. And then obviously I may get questioned about three snuff outs. I think the card is really insane in our deck, so I'm willing to take the risk that we draw two every once in a while and potentially it backfire. Great question, Hava Bovita. Yes, I mentioned this in on Monday's stream with Curran that it's an idea I had last Saturday right before the showcase challenge, and it won me a match, and then it won Curran a match. Granted, not against Doomsday, but I beat Reanimate, he beat Dredge with it. I think this is like borderline. I think I'm just gonna keep, but I don't love it. But yeah, it's a time walk against Doomsday for zero mana, and then it's like zero mana hit against Reanimator, right? The obvious question that I've been getting was like, oh, why not play Surgical Extraction? The reason being is because against Doomsday, they often would just make a cycle pile, and there is a chance that Surgical just doesn't even buy you a turn, right? Like the way that you're guaranteed to with Noxious Revival. Not to mention Noxious Revival happens to be uncounterable um, if you have an Allosaur Shepherd out, right? Whereas Surgical Extraction is not. So those are some of the ancillary benefits of. Okay, they are doing the old force my turn one play. Interesting. Yeah, it is Doomsday Hate really that overlaps with. I think we'll do this. I'm gonna force this. What's called Green Sun through because we have a couple natural orders. Yeah, I mean, I actually kind of want to test Noxious Revival in the vintage list too. I haven't been doing too hot with the vintage list, but it's like something. We're playing against high people 351. We can natural order here, but it doesn't really buy us anything. I'm just gonna bash and see what happens. Well, let me think. Yeah, I'm gonna bash and see what happens. If they bounce or remove and then they counter, it's just really bad. So I don't want to make that play. We're on a virtual mulligan to six, but I felt like six was like keepable enough to play. Possible we should have mulligan. Oh, it might be on Doomsday. I realize. Oof. Okay, that's not what I wanted to see. So if we had natural order, that would like put on a six or whatever it is. Let's see. If we natural order, we pitch the Arbor, and then we get in there for six plus 10. They go to five. So I don't think it would have changed anything. If they have the Street Reef kill, they would have killed us anyways here. Oh, actually, never mind. We only saw fetches, so we didn't know they were on Doomsday. Again, just trying to like I recently talked to Theo Jung and he mentioned that he doesn't play leagues just to jam anymore, like mindlessly jam, which I think is like detrimental to your gameplay actually. I think it's good to have a goal of what you want to accomplish in the league and then set that goal ahead of time and then Um, let's just say your goal is to test XYZ card, right? And then you, I may make a play that I otherwise wouldn't, just because I want to see how that play plays out, right? Because at the end of the day, the way I view leagues now is it's a big playground for testing. Um, Obviously, if I'm playing for like the 5-0 or something, then maybe I just make the higher percentage play instead of the testing play. But for the most part, I try to stick to that. So the good thing here is they would. Thank you for the follow, Doctor Bill. They would have to have quite the hand here to kill us. It have to be cycler into mana into like consider or something like that. Or if they have mana in their hand, that works too, right? I guess. Let's see. So where's LED? LED is in their pile. It looks like. I hope I'm not dead here. It's possible I am. The good thing is we can test our Noxious Revival tech here, right? Alright, perfect. Alright, that's nice. Did you see the Netto Reclaimer list, the top four of the last Sunday challenge? 61 cards. I think you're talking about the non-showcase one. I think you're talking about the one before that. Unless I'm wrong. I forget who it was that did that. I think it was Dawson. It might have been Dawson's Creep. I don't remember, but I know Curran lost to an elf list in the showcase, not the showcase, in the regular challenge. Not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before. So so it's good to see that there is some life, I guess. I think the way I would build a Nettle list now is probably alongside Reclaimer, right? Because I think Reclaimer is probably just too strong not to play, and I think if you want to play a Nettle list, I'd probably just play a hybrid list if that makes sense. But enough of that. I think we could just cut all of this, and then we can cut like one landlord. Anything else I'm missing? Oh, we don't want the bog. So we can bring back the landlord, and then I think everything else is like pretty reasonable. The good thing about this list is there's higher density, right? Of like relevant cards. Like this is like pretty good. Cheap. One of the reasons why I wanted Wasteland is actually this specific matchup because I just got tired of opponents aggressively mulliganing for Doomsday, Dark Ritual plus Doomsday. So we could like put a Misty on top. I don't know if I want to do that. It just like messes them up further. Um, I think I could just like wasteland them here, right, and see what they do. Do they just lose on the spot? Noxious now to wasteland. What do you mean by that? No, I would put Doomsday on their stack. Is what I would do. Like that just like screws up the pile, right? unless I'm missing something that you're trying to say. I can't put Wasteland on their stack if that's what you're trying to say. We can trick in incomplete pile too, but I like another Wasteland. I mean, we have full information, right? Like, if we want to Wasteland them or not, like. They have no LED here. That's interesting. I feel like their pile might be just like, I don't know. There's an Oracle here, and then oh, unless they have no mana, which is interesting. One, two. They have two petals exiled. I don't know about Relic Pile in this situation because they don't have any mana. They probably have a Lotus Petal in their hand, is my guess. All right, the question here is, do I allow them? I could just like, well, they have a Ellie, a Lion's Eye Diamond here. How greedy do I want to do that? They draw into something here, but they only have no mana, so I think I'm gonna be greedy and let them draw and then try to screw up their pile. All right, now's the time, I guess. Hold the Noxus? That doesn't make any sense. I think it's that. The nice thing here is I actually have a collector oof here as well. Cards in library 5. How greedy do I want to be here? I could shut this off and that would like probably screw up the pile. Yeah, I think we have to do it here. I'm gonna lock out their relic. Yeah, it's. Ugh, okay, I was afraid of this. All right, so it didn't matter, I guess, because well, I was scared that they were gonna kill us that turn. It like there's a possibility we're supposed to hold the endurance, but the relic kind of plays around it, so I wasn't sure, and I wanted to just lock their mana. I think they I feels like they have another pedal somewhere though. All right, that's pretty good. Keep. I would have to ask somebody who has more experience playing Doomsday than me if we're supposed to hold endurance there in that situation. It's entirely possible. I have zero games with it, Answer Key Gaming, so I cannot speak to that yet. That is the point of tonight. I have literally zero games with it. I think they probably mulligan aggressively for Dark Ritual Doomsday. Um, my experience is their players tend to do that a lot because they can't win. I think a longer game. Personal tutor, okay. I was thinking about going Shepherd G's for Reclaimer because if you drew a fetch, they wouldn't be able to wreath. It's possible, yeah. I think the line there is. I think you're right. I think I'm supposed to hold the endurance because I don't think. Like, they would have to have the pedal, which I felt like they did in their hand, to be able to beat that hand, but I'm not entirely sure. I think we do that here. And then get a Cradle. Indeed, indeed. We can also check how many Lotus Petals they have. Also, at some point, the Street Views just get turned off too because of the damage. Wasteland Fetch. That's not bad. They still have two Lotus Petals here. It appears they have basic island on their pile. Possible, yeah. They're playing around the Boseiju, I guess. So they make a fetch play here, but we have double endurance, so I feel pretty good about our chances. Let's see. Foul is 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think we just waste them here. It actually increases the clock too, which is nice. I think we just put lethal on the board here. Yeah, they're actually at 7. Pretty nice. The Noxious Revival working as intended. 0 mana Time Walk. Pretty sick. Sick, sick, sick. I'm gonna go back to game 2. It's possible you just punt it here, right? I'm gonna go ahead and review this because I think it's interesting to get feedback from the chat or the community, right? Like they go turn 1. They personal tutor here. I am okay with just wastelanding them here because like there's a chance you just win on the spot, right? Like none of the other cards really matter. All right, they do that. I think the line here is we play the Shepherd, we force the Noxious Revival through, which is fine. Actually, the relic there. I wonder. I guess there's some decision at point after the person where you can put the personal tutor on top. I don't like that because they can actually beat it. Like I'd rather them be locked into the pile and then they have to figure out how to play around the Noxious Revival. Also, they have the life, right? Which is like relevant if you're doing the damage before they half, right? Because then your damage is only half that. This is the play where I'm not sure about. Like, and I think it's probably correct to just like play the Shepherd, play. Well, actually, let me see. We pitched that. They possibly can beat an Endurance, so feels like the line maybe is just to get a. I don't know. It's kind of hard. I would have to get potentially. I would have to either commit fully to the board, right? Then I have lethal the following turn, but then I can't pitch. I don't have a pitch spell for endurance anymore, and that would be the problem, right? Like hypothetically speaking, they can just like exile themselves and then like cycle into the kill, right? Like they would need to spend 1 mana for the relic cycle to clear the yard, but then we don't have the pitch live, is the thing, and maybe they. There's a chance we still win, but it's not 100%. I think. Let's see. What is their pile here? They have 1 Street Wreath, and here's a second one. I think their list typically runs 3 Street Wreaths. The both edges here were gone. I think with that said, with both edges gone, it may have been. So the hand was likely Street Wreath, Oracle, Petal. Okay, so I think we hold the. I think if that's the case, we hold the endurance, and then we just go for the lethal, right? I think that's where we messed up. We gave them an extra turn by not doing that. Okay, so good information. glad it worked out in game three though. Yeah, I mean, Notch's revival looked very good in those two games, right? Like just zero time walk your opponent for no for 0 mana. Our opponent here is usually on Esperval, like sometimes flashing green. I think. I don't know what they're on. I haven't played them in a long time though. All right. This hand is not the best. I wish this Hoof wasn't here, but it's actually okay otherwise. I'm gonna try. So have a Bovita. I think you said that Street Reef has wrecked you in Vintage. Is I'm assuming one turn matters a lot because I kind of wanted to test that in the Elf Vintage list, but haven't got around to it. If our opponent is on Reanimator, I think we are jumping for joy here. I don't think so though, but we'll see. No, there's no way. Yeah, our opponent is usually on some control pile. Like, gotcha. That makes sense. Also, Revival putting a bog back into your deck for Reclaimer could be relevant too. If like let's just say it can't just deal with one card, right? Sure. All right. No use of wastelanding them here when they have a vial. Um, I think we just play the Revisionaire and go. Badlands is interesting. I think what are they on? Maybe they're on everything but green. Iteration. Wow, this is Shep does make revival uncounterable, which is part of what we had last game, right? In theory, they could have something. I don't know what they would have though, but maybe a swords here. Sure. I don't think it makes sense to waste here. I'm gonna go ahead and just play another fetch and pass. Sure, sure. That makes sense. Again, this hoof's looking kind of bad, and the endurance is looking kind of bad. Possible we should have mulled, but that's okay. Curious if I should waste here. I feel like I should. Get them off red and black. Ah, okay. Sure. So getting punished there for not wasting them on their turn, right? Like beforehand. They could have filed it in, which would have been potentially disastrous for us, but at least now we know about it. We gave them a free opposition agent. Well, not free, but like ahead of turn, right? Might have been better because we might have walked our Fiend Artisan into it otherwise. What if you play Aether Vial? Tempting, tempting. Hey Levi, how's it going? Your Seahawks are doing pretty hot, must say. We saw what does it call it? I'm good. Glad it's the weekend. Oh, for sure. I saw what is it called? You know, Pete Sheriff fired some shots at Russell Wilson. That was kind of interesting. He is a Chad. Yeah, he's been balling out. Huh. What do they get with? They reveal mother? What is going on here? Okay, let's see. Unfortunately, I'm like just one short. I can like go for the. We have lethal, but we have to walk into force. I wonder if that's worth it. Well, let's see what they do. Like we have exactly lethal, but it requires walking into force, and I'm not sure that's worth it at the moment. Am I scared of anything at 4 mana? I mean, maybe. We have 5, 6, 7 mana, right? Like we have to bounce to untap to get the 8th mana. Uh, Death not Oz. There's no way they're blocking. Yeah, I think we just wait a turn, right? Like, uh, I mean, a lot can happen in one turn, but like, I'd rather have the. I don't want to lose the force like randomly because if they have force, it's gonna be very difficult to win from here. Sure. It's one turn, and obviously we can lose to things like Plague Engineer or whatever, but that means they have to have it, right? Don't they see another potential foul off the draw? No, red is for sweepers. Answer Key Gaming. I mean, Levi. It depends. Sometimes I would jam, but I just feel like with the uncounter protection, there's a reason to hold, right? All right, now we jam. it really depends. There. Sure. Sure. All right. That's. I think we played that correctly. Ironically enough, we are playing against the Esserval, and that's probably what we're gonna be bringing in, right? Like, they probably have relevant targets. I don't remember what they had. What did they show on that side? Mom, I guess that's relevant. Snuff out is pretty relevant. I don't think I want C's against them, even though we don't have great targets. Don't think we want Caracas either, or Crop. I think I'm happy with this. It's like just get play the good cards, right? Take out the ones that are not applicable. Possibly. I don't think they run that anymore. Like, so I know Francis is not like running a stock list, but I talk to Jeff or he talks to me every once in a while, and I'm like fairly up to date to what they normally play. And one of the reasons why they cut Peacekeeper is because Elves has access to Grist now, right? You just don't auto lose to that card anymore. Like, well, main deck especially too, right? Pretty happy with Noxus Revival already, and kind of excited to try it in Vintage now too. I'd imagine it would help against the Doomsday matchup. Ugh. This hand is kind of bad. Like you have a Moto 6 already, and then like this is not gonna do anything for a while. What is the fourth bridge prowler tech for? It's not for anything specifically. It's just like a value card, so to speak. Right? It's like decent against Delver. Um, do I want this card? Probably not. Like one of the ways to beat them is Progenitus. Now I regret it. All right, keep. I think we just don't play removal at the moment. I didn't love starting with two Once Upon a Time plus the Progenitus. That's the reason. I think here I want to see gas. So actually, that was a mistake. I should have once after fetching. Sorry, before fetching. Because you can see some of the same cards, right? Like we just did right now. Yeah, for sure. Answer key. I misplayed right now. So we knew what the two bottom cards were. I was not supposed to fetch first. I was supposed to once first. I just like tunnel vision into it, or like not tunnel vision, autopilot into that, which I usually do. But the correct play there would have been to once first before, because we know what's on the bottom. Prague is definitely one of the best cards in this matchup because they will try to plague engineer you out of the game. So minor misplay by me. Nothing game losing, but of course, like if the percentages do add up. Like, um, yeah. Can we wait a turn, or do we have to do it now? I feel like we can't really give our opponent a vial. That's like pretty obnoxious. They have only 4 cards though. I don't want to ramp them. Okay, we'll let it go to 1. I think we're okay with them having a mom. So the normal Espreval version does not play mom, but I think we can just live if that's what they have. Like here, we don't want to give them land drops. Like Elves is secretly a tempo deck in disguise as a control deck. Shoot. If they go to 2, then it's like potentially problematic. I guess we can like. We need to hit land drops. That's the other problem, right? Like, I think we just give them the vial and then try to green sun, see what they do. Sure, mid range is fine. Here, there's a heads up play, trying to fake us out, I guess. In response to the oof, I think we just get it. We want to tie up their mana. Our hand doesn't really do anything, but I think we want to stop them from, you know, cheating on mana too much. Ugh, that's killer right now. Mold of Fire doesn't help too. Yeah, combo finish being natural, obviously the 1 card combo, right? Just, we're already playing creatures, so just let's like free our deck almost. EI, ironically, normally not great against us out of Delver, but here it's kind of annoying. Because we can't punish their slow hand here, right? Like, we just, we don't have the hand for it, so to speak. I like that Cradle, though. We get, like, blown out here by Engineer, but I don't know if we can play around that. Sure. Sometimes it's all I want to see when I'm playing Storm. Yeah, that makes sense. Alright, the Snuff Out looks kind of bad here. But I don't think, like, Endurance is doing anything in this matchup either, so I just play in case they play something that we care about, right? Like either a Sea Priest or a Canonist. They're Esper Val, but they're splashing red, presumably for like consumes all. What could red also represent? Maybe Magus, although I doubt it. Um, maybe like one of the red sweepers. That's not good. Sure, EI is another thing. Like Stoneforge Mystic. Interesting card. Cauldron. The thing is, they can almost hard cast it now. I think what I'm gonna do here is attempt to snuff out the Mystic and see what they do. Sure. That's actually really good. Alright, we're gonna plus and then ramp. Yeah, Gris is the nuts. Gris and Artisan is a new Wirewood visionary, right? Like, use like accrue incremental value over a few turns. Use like demonic tutor whatever you need every turn. What did they get with the recruiter? Oh, they got. Wait a minute. When did they play the recruiter? Oh, they got the stone for instance. Okay, sure. So we have three, four, five, six, three, four, five, six, seven. Sorry, three, seven, 8 mana. We have lethal here if they don't do anything. Yeah, we. How do you think is the 8 cast versus Artisan Elves matchup? I think it is very good for us. I think you can like almost play spells at random and win. 8 cast has a notoriously very bad Elves matchup and post matchup. Alright. They did not shuffle. They're gonna attack the Gris. Sure, I don't think we care. They may have found Sea Priest. Yeah, what win target game a lot of times. Oof, okay, sure. I guess we were lucky to have it as long as we did. Did we attack here? Probably not. I mean, even with Dismember, I still think Elves is like severely fake. Like the thing is like you have a one card that shuts off the other deck's entire deck, and then you also have like a seven of I guess you want to call it right, like 3 to 4 shepherds, plus Green Sun, where you just like none of your disruption matters. Oh shit, I forgot. You can hard cast it. Okay, sure. That's kind of annoying, but alright. Then yeah, Chalice is garbage against elves. Let's just ignore it. That's really annoying, actually. To keep it in, I think you could take it out. What I want to see. I mean, I think you're supposed to leave it in, but I could be wrong, right? We could be in trouble. We have like a lot of top decks, for what it's worth. Yorion's probably coming down pretty soon, I would imagine. We did more to five, for what it's worth. Like, alright, it looks like Yorion's gonna come down. Nah, I don't think so. It's way too slow, right? I think we have to. I don't want to hit this, but I think we have to hit the Yorion. Actually, I should have waited. What am I doing? They probably got Solitude, I would imagine, actually, now. Yeah, I messed up. I meant to initially target the recruiter and then changed my mind because I thought, oh, we don't have lethal on board. Dismember has been good for me in elves. Uh, I don't know. I'm not a fan of Dismember. It doesn't act like. What does Dismember do that besides hit black creatures that Snuff Out doesn't do? Right, like Solitude. All right, that's probably game if they got solitude. I can't imagine it's better than Snuff Out. I mean, I think in most cases we don't care about Cauldron. That's my point, right? Like if it's gotten to a point where Cauldron matters, you probably gonna lose anyways. Like I'm not the least bit afraid of Cauldron complete. Like in my opinion, if it beats me, it's because I would have lost anyways. Only, but that's the thing, right? Like again, I don't think it's better than Snuff Out. Like free is a big difference than one mana. Same is true for Murktide. What is true for Murktide? Huh. Yeah, I agree with that sentiment by Have a Bovita. Do they have the force? Probably. It's been a minute. So they have the solitude. So I think we just still lose. Interesting. They hit the collective. They are playing the Peacekeeper. I think it's really bad, but it does beat decks like Dredge or whatever. Interesting. So they are giving us a chance. Did they not realize we didn't have lethal? What is going on here? Like they have the game won, and I don't know if they just didn't realize it or just getting any extra reps in or what. But I'm really confused now. All right, so that's sure. I'm actually happy if they boarded in Peacekeeper. I don't think it's actually good. Do we care about any of this other stuff? Probably not. All right, we'll just run it back and try not to mortal 5 again. Yeah, it's like somewhere between D&T and Esper. We shall try not to mortal 5. Our opponent has disconnected though, which is weird. Maybe they're lagging. Or they had to go. It's one or the other, right? I guess with that said, I'll use this time to use the restroom then. If they're not there. Thoughts on boarding in Force of Vigor? I don't think so. Not in this kind of matchup. Keep. I think we'll lead with the Reclaimer, just because best creature in the deck. Actually, best creature in Legacy. Period. Yes, sure. Respect. Respect. So, do we want to just fire off the Wasteland here? I would guess not, but I don't like to randomly just fire off Wasteland. Like, that's. It doesn't feel like a winning play. Not to mention we're land light too. Interesting. I could waste him here and then I think I'm not going to. Not worth it, I think, to attack. Also, natural order in hand, I think we want lands. So the question here is our opponent gonna respond? Right? Like we have the Fiend Artisan that is gonna force a response from our opponent now. Oh, really? They could have Solitude into Force. I think if they do, like, we live with it. Yeah. Not playing around that. Oof. All right. My stack is hidden. Sure. It's not the end of the world. It was a 4 for 2. No problem. Fluster, sure. That's annoying. There's no universe I'm not slamming this right now. So they have a card in hand that we don't know about. The other one's gonna be a Cauldron Complete. I think we kill the Skyclave Aberration here. And hopefully they don't have the swords. think we get a visionary. We could get an artisan, I guess. What do we get? We get an artisan here. Yeah, it feels like we get an artisan here and just like go for the win. Like they have to deal with the artisan and the grit simultaneously. That's not gonna be easy. And if we untap, we probably win with the artisan. Like, what are we trying to dig into with visionary? We just want the actual card. Uh, I could have. That's a good point. I didn't think about it. I tunnel vision into it. Uh, ZJBLI. I think I like the mana here, just in case. Fourth bridge prowlers in. I think I get the visionary here. And don't attack. Thanks, ZJBLI. Oh, they have the Cauldra. That's what it was. I should have wasted. Oh my god, that was bad. I forgot about the Cauldra. Okay, that's a mistake by me. If I wasted, this wouldn't have happened. Okay, that punt number one of the day. That's bad by me. Well, never punished. That was a bad punt by me. Like I knew about the cauldron and just like that's what I get for not putting like the gnome cards here, right? Like, but luckily I wasn't punished. Like I'm like way ahead. There's no reason to not wasteland there because we know about the cauldron. No harm done, luckily. That game was won by, I guess you want to call it Wirewood plus in conjunction with Shepherd, in conjunction with Natural Order, right? Like with the 4 for 2. I think it was just too backbreaking for our opponent to come back from. Also, the one turn of Grist plus Artisan, just like Demonic Tutor, was pretty good there too. Like it was gonna take over the game, and I think in the past I might have been greedy and just like green silver vision. I think you just close the door, right? Like especially with the Grist out, if you untap with Artisan, the game is probably over. I don't. I think they had to, right? Like otherwise, the I could just get Progenitors, they lose. So the one was on Shepherd. I forgot what the other one was on, but I think Artisan is kill on sight, in my opinion. Uh, it's not the best creature in the deck because it's 2 mana compared to Reclaimer's only 1. But I think as an individual threat, it is the scariest card in the deck because I could get anything, right? That's the scary part, right? Um, as an individual card, Reclaim is better because it's 1 mana. But when on the field, this is the most dangerous card. This is like kill on sight, right? All right. How to sequence here? Depending what we draw, I think I want to lead keep. Um, I think it depends on, to be honest, on your hand. What is that? Oh my God, why are we playing against this? Palace Jailer. And what is this? All right, sure, I guess. All right. With the second artisan, I think now we're just priced into Green Sun. The thing about Reclaimer is like if you don't stop the early man, that's kind of bad for you. Like, what if they just stick a grist like out of nowhere? Sure. If they're on the aggro plan, I think we are thrilled. We're not gonna block. They are not, unfortunately. Okay, so the line here is we can have 3 mana. I guess we just do that, yeah. And just like dodge for a turn, hopefully, right? If they get Warhammer, there are some serious soldier decks going on. What soldier decks are in Warhammer? I'm not gonna block. There's no point. If they tap out, they just lose. So that's what I'm hoping for. They did not. Alright. Alright. That was easy enough, I guess. Our hand didn't really allow us to just play around anything there. Like, I think with other cards in our hand, maybe we have some more play. But I think there we just walk. If they have the removal, they have the removal. I think we just like go over the win, right? All right. I feel like Force might be pretty good in this matchup. I definitely don't want the Endurances. They don't do anything. I don't think Agent's good here, or Bog. Caracas might be good if they had the, like Thalia or something. Like, let's take a look at these lists. So this is the one that's been brought up here. Yeah, I saw these are doing pretty well. They're coming next week, so I guess we'll see, right? I don't even know what this card does. Is that? This looks like a flicker effect, maybe. Yeah. All right. So I think this card is very good, by the way. Sarah Paragon. I got to play with that a little bit in the Heritage event. I didn't end up registering it, but I tested it a good amount. That card impressed me. It's like a 4 mana Loris, right? All right. I think against them, feels like Snuff Out is probably kind of insane. Um, what else? Force. Like, do they have enough artifacts to justify it? I feel like it's probably better to forego the Force until I see more. Like, not the best, but I think we keep. question here is, do we? I don't think we. Do we get black here? Yeah, actually, probably. In case we draw stuff out. Also, if they waste the buy, they're not wasting the cradle, so there's that. Hey, Mike, how's it going? We are 2-0 to start the day. Noxious Revival won us a match against Doomsday, so that was pretty cool to see. They could have just said a permanent card. What is going on now? Sure, we're definitely not playing that green sun anytime soon. I think we play the Boseiju. This is a soldier? Oh god, it is. It's annoying. Better not. Better not. I feel like that's potentially something going on here. Oh my god, all the Esper Sentinels. Ironically good against this right now. So we played the crop rotation here. We have to pay 1, 2, 3, 4 mana. Is that even worth it at that point? Although we can green sun immediately after, that's kind of cool. Say cancel. I'll just pass. We have crop rotation up in case they wasteland here. Like it feels like such a waste to just crop rotation and then like green sun for 2, right? Like short mana. We just like blow them out potentially here, but I'm not sure it's worth it. Pass. They like draw too many cards is the problem, right? What is in their hand? They didn't do anything. Oh my god, it's God, that is such a nightmare. If they had flash, they would have done it already. I can't because of the Dahlia. That's what I tried to do. Yeah, we were one short. This is like the trolliest hand ever. Although we're on the verge of stabilize, I think we just take 5 here, and then we're probably gonna stabilize after that. Assuming like their hand, their last card is dead. Like we're on the verge of stabilizing. The other weird thing, the other weird thing is like, are they just like leaving themselves cold to natural order here? I mean, not cold. To Shepherd. Or did they just miss that we have lethal? What is going on here? Like, yeah, they just missed that we have lethal on board. All right, better lucky than good, I guess. All right, 3-0. Pretty good showing so far. No, I never cut natural order except against Delver. I think the card is just too good, Mike. And the only reason why I'm cutting against Delver is because I think if we have the mana to typically cast natural, we're probably gonna win those games. Um, I can see like an argument to be made. Maybe the Nettle version wants to keep it because they can't beat Delver if Delver 1-for-1s them otherwise. But I think we don't need it to be Delver. I think it's a liability. I think Esper Sentinel is definitely a very polarizing card. I've played it in like this list before. Like I 5-0'd with it in the Cradle shell. Uh, it does things, but unfortunately, it's not a great top deck. Yeah, see, like once we got that small window, right? We like Green Sun for a vision just to like get back up on cards, and then from there we just drew out of it, right? All right, we're playing against somebody who is 4-0 and likely on Doomsday. I think we keep. All right, they're gonna mulligan aggressively for the kill here. They're down to 4 already. How many? I hate this kind of gameplay, like where your opponent just like, well, I can't beat them fair, so I'm just gonna have to try to mulligan the turn 1 combo. All right. We kept it off the collective. There's like other keeps that we have with like endurance is not bad, but I think this is like reasonable. Don't turn 1 dark rituals. Yeah, I mean I think oof is like reasonable. Like it's not, and they're on the I'm gonna mold to Doomsday like plan, so it's possible they just lose themselves. That could be holding up permission. I think we tried to resolve oof here. There's a chance Wasteland could just win too. Yeah, yeah. I'm on that plan, Mike. I was like in oof into Wasteland if they try to go off, right? Did they shuffle off the thing or no? They did not. So that might be another land, right? Or for the Doomsday here. Sure. Hey, welcome everybody from Matt's stream. Thank you for the raid, Matt. I hope your stream ended up well. We're playing this is my new list. Here, I'll bring it up in a second. Or you can actually check the deck list too. But the test, I'm playing the stock list that I've been playing the last 2 days with a fourth bridge Prowler in the sideboard instead of a Plague Engineer. 4-1, oops. Okay. I'm sad to see that, but I'm happy you ended strong, man, if that makes sense. Uh, y- yes, they have a basic swamp here. I think they're gonna probably play around Boseiju because that's like a gnome thing. I don't think our line is gonna change regardless. Okay, one, two, three. We kind of know we gotta know their whole deck here, I guess. One, two, three, four. Okay, they have another pedal, I guess. All right, so I think we're just gonna play everything out. I remember asking you a few weeks ago about switching to Wasteland. We didn't have room, but I made the room by cutting the spirit guides. Oh, good call about counting the lands. 1C, two. That's the third C, right? They're probably not expecting that. That's probably gonna wreck them. Possibly they have two C's in the pot, yeah, but I don't know. They have one C in the pot, so there's two in the exiled. No, LED is not in here, I believe. I could be wrong. I thought I saw. Yeah, LED is not part of the pile. Oh, if I reclaimer here for a arbor. Actually, let's do this. Okay, yeah. So Mike and I are thinking the same thing. I realize if I fetch here, that's an extra point of damage, right? I get three instead of two. That's the thinking here, and not to mention I add another one for the next turn too. All right, we'll add in the new tech. So for those who are coming in from Matt's stream earlier, we won round one with Noxious Revival, just time walking our opponent. It's pretty nifty, I think. I found elves is so much harder to play against out of Doomsday if suddenly the elf player is playing Mana Denial too. Like with Wasteland, right? Which actually was, what's the new tech? Noxious Revival. Death Not Oz. This is pretty solid, I think. Keep. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, they bought a four, like that kind of crazy shenanigans. If they go Dark Ritual Doomsday here, we probably just leave with Shepherd, right? Because we want the endurance. I think Elves is not favorite game one. I would say we're probably like 30-70. And then post board, I would say we're probably 60-40. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I would agree with Mike. If you're on the multiple board, turn one no matter what, I don't think you can afford to play around anything. You just hope that they don't have it, right? Thank you for following Zen Shadow. It's very nice right now. Yeah, the oof was so. I'm glad. So we have a resident, combo player here, Mike Reed, and I'm glad I'm taking the lines that he approves of, right? Like I don't think you're beating elves in a long game outside of maybe cheesing a win with like opposition agent or something like that. But again, that's like trying to like dark ritual opposition agent out. Wasteland is definitely not stock. It is like a one of at most two at the moment. They made an LED pile. It looks like, which makes sense because they live with swamp, right? I think they have no choice. The question here becomes: do they have a second oracle? Consider is not borrower. Oh, looks like they're not on a stock list. I mean, our hand was pretty stacked. Like that wasteland was nuts, right? Shepherd into endurance. Agreed, Mike. We're so if they had not done that, I would have led with the Finhorn elves. But ooh, but because of the turn one dark ritual, I think we lead with the Shepherd now. Okay, do they have force of will? One, two, three, four. Okay, all four forces are in their yard. Do we think they have days? There's one days showing. They'll probably draw into it since they had LED. Makes sense. The question is, do we play around permission here and seize? I feel like it's probably dangerous. Actually, they don't have days, so we can safely seize. And there's only one days here. Keeps he has a swamp. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just realized that. There's only one days. Well, they could days on our turn, right? Like if we tap out here for, I guess we'll see, right? Like we can seize here and see what they do. They don't have force. All right, I guess we take the brainstorm. I got a little bit greedy. I just don't think they have days. Like based on the way that the pile comes out. Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, for sure. I think we pitched the natural order. That's not coming down anytime soon. They probably take the shepherd and then we besage them, as mentioned. Actually, what did we put back? Did they have a land? I don't remember. I don't remember if. Okay, let's check their lands. One, two. How many seas do they have? Three. Is island still in their deck? Looks like they did a two Oracle pile smart. I would have done it that too there. All right, nice. We're playing that they didn't have the basic island, and I guess they boarded it out. All right, 4-0 here. Let me use the restroom real quick, and then we'll try to finish this. I'll put up my list here. We Doomsday twice, which is nice. I think second Thassa's was on top. Yeah, I think they were dead regardless because of the Boseiju and just like the texture of our hand there. You don't expect to do 2-0 Doomsday, but it can happen on the off chance you steal game one. Like I said, I think the matchup is probably game one, 30-70. Like they're probably pretty favored. And I think post board, I think it's probably like 60-40 in our favor. Like we have a lot of hate. And also the game one percentages are probably a little bit better now because of the wasteland. Which matters a lot because the hands that we're most scared of are the turn one Dark Ritual Dooms, where they're just like mulling to oblivion, right? Like trying to turn one us. And the wasteland is like huge for stopping that kind of, I guess, nonsensical lines, right? Not to mention we have two virtual copies because of the crop rotation main too, right? Like if they go turn one Dark Ritual Dooms, they have crop rotation. I'm just gonna play a land, crop rotate wasteland. I hope that gets there. You might be right, Mike. 6040 was excluding Relic and excluding the Noxious Revival tech. So I do not know what the updated numbers are. I think with Relic, maybe it's 50-50. I don't know. But the revivals are very good for what it's worth. And again, that's, I would say 60-40 excluding Relic, excluding Revival, and excluding Wasteland is probably where I have the numbers roughly before. I think everybody's in agreement. Doomsday is probably pretty favored game one. I don't think it's like 80-20 or anything along those crazy lines, but I think 37 is like 30-70 is not within realm. And there is an off chance they lose themselves, right? Like we saw game one, our opponents just mulled to four trying to turn one us. No, I don't. I don't like. I just think in this day in Legacy, it's like vintage almost from like maybe 5-10 years ago, right? Like you just don't have time, in my opinion. That's why I'm playing like all free spells in the sideboard, right? Like take out Progenitus and take out Thoughtseize. Everything else is literally a free spell. Zero mana, zero mana, zero mana, zero mana. Like obviously the fourth bridge prowler is like a one mana spell, which is before was a plague engineer, but true neck. All right, let's see if we can complete the 5-0. I will be happy. It will be a nice early Thanksgiving present, right? So to speak. Um, I think we keep it. It's not the best. We're a little land heavy, but it's not bad. Um, I think that's probably accurate, Mike. I think it is hard to gauge too, right? Because like I've had players who just like multi oblivion against me. I've also had players who keep like kind of slowish hands, and then like it really depends on. I think sideboard matters a lot because if they have the opposition agents, that definitely hurts. Like opposition agent out of a dark ritual deck is hard for us to beat if they happen to have it, right? No, I would lead with Reclaimer. It's the better card. Because ideally, what I'm doing is I want to go turn two Shepherd, play Cradle, and then pitch the Snow Cover Forest for pitch the Snow Cover Forest for a Dryad Arbor. Sure. I think we play this and pass. They might be on Death and Taxes. Sure. I think I fetch here. Shed was a base, yeah, but I don't know for sure they're on DNT, right? Like, And if they don't have removal, it just like is significantly worse. All right. I think we just Gris here. Plus. We could plus a few times, and then we're still short lethal, unfortunately. We're gonna bash as they should. Yeah, it is. It's a creature randomly. Maybe they skyclave it here. They have it. I don't think we care about that. That's actually good for us. Why did they main phase that though? It's very odd. We don't have lethal, so I'm just gonna wait another turn. You don't put them to one here, two soft to solid. I don't like that. Yeah, I've been burned in the past by trying to put them to like against these creature decks. You have to assume you can't get there in the ground. So especially without progenitors, it has to. If you have the option, you try to force it to be lethal. I wouldn't say it's great. I think it's good. It used to be great, but then the changes in our deck and the changes in their deck have made it a little bit worse than before. Sure. And they have STP, right? Like, actually, they didn't have STP up because of Thalia, but sure. All right, I think we have lethal now. They have to have solid putting them to two cards, and Chris doesn't even die if it fails. Um, I think you might be right, but okay. Can we plus first? Draw. And then huff. Yeah, I don't think it's worth the risk. Like I've been on these weird board states where it's not lethal, and then suddenly I can't get through their like dorks, right? Different story. You got Progenitors in the deck. Like Progenitors main deck really helps in this kind of matchup where it's just like really scary to go for it if they're holding like 5 cards in hand. Right? Like the odds are they probably have a solid two. All right. Let's see. We take out the endurances that don't do anything. I think take out the bog. I think. Okay. Let me see how did I map this. I might have not even mapped to this yet. Actually, I think I did. Oh, I think I take out the shepherds. They're bad. They literally don't do anything. This seems reasonable. Actually, the fourth bridge prowler probably worth it. I think here. Do they have anything we actually care? The mom, I guess, but that has come in on time. The peacekeeper. That's like a joke. I don't think that's a real thing, but probably better than crop rotation. I think. Actually, no Caracas. There it is. That's what it was. Yeah, the Prowler's probably fine. It's probably better than Caracas. I've actually have never lost to that card, Peacekeeper. But yeah, I take that. Okay, that's not true. I've never lost it out of D&T. I've lost it plenty out of like Esperva. I always, I've also been extremely fortunate because the times where I was in danger of losing that card, um, I happened to be playing the Cabal Pit, right? That I like won the game. This hand is great, yeah. Ugh, that's annoying. Jite. Hmm. I think the line here is I'm gonna Gris because I get extra token and then getting the Wirewood and the what does it call it? And the Landlord Elves out right now doesn't really do anything. Ugh. Not that it matters. The Beseju hitting the GTA would have been relevant, but we need natural order here off the top. Containment Priest, eh? Interesting. No, I think GTA is way better, right? I think Closure doesn't do anything. That's my personal opinion on that card. I'm just gonna like flood the board if let's see what they could possibly have. I maybe I should not have. Well, actually, I should play the Wirewood because I should have kept one so I can block bounce. That was a mistake. Wow, they messed up big time. No, they have Mom Death Knot on. Like they could force it through. I think Closure is not very good personally. Like against elves, but they just had they blew through the game here. Uh, Green Sun or Natural Order top deck. It's not bad. That is not bad. On this board state, I like the Visionary a lot, given the Wirewood Infinity here we have. That is not bad either. Yeah, Visionary with Sea Priest in hand. Okay, that's actually kind of good. I could minus here and target the mom. I think I actually like that. That is why they didn't force it through. We just kill mom. Yeah, but you get to like clear two creatures, right? I don't think we do anything here. I think we're pretty ahead. This card is just obscene. What the fuck is that? Oh god, okay, interesting. I didn't even... I actually seen this card before and I forgot about it. It's kind of good at the moment, ironically enough. I think we have to kill that again. Odds are we're going to win this turn. We've seen a lot of cards now. I did that because I'm going to get the extra mana anyways. So it's kind of free. We are missing like crazy though. I think we just minus here. Get rid of the mom. Maybe they flashed in priest, I don't know. Sure. I think Wasteland is kind of interesting actually. Alright, and then I'll pass. We don't need the Dried Arbor here. I was gonna get the Dried Arbor, but they flashed in the priest, and there's no need to reveal that we have the out to Containment Priest. Like we have lethal next turn. There's like no need. The two cards in hand. Interesting. What are they gonna target? So the problem is it goes away. Sure. Do I care? Three, two. Yeah, I actually don't think I even care. I think as long as they don't have GTA counters, that's good enough. Yeah, I don't even think we care. Like we have the game won. Like I don't think I'm scared of anything here. This is one of the few times here I will upkeep do this. I should have done on draw stuff. I didn't set the what is it called though? play this. Yeah. Okay. 5-0. Nice. We didn't get to really see the we didn't really get to see the fourth bridge prowler in action, but we definitely got to see the power of snuff out. I do like the 3 copies. It's just so good when it's good. We like blew out the DNT player, right? Like 0 mana force of will, basically, right? We got to see the noxious revival be very good. We got to see what else. Did we do anything with force of vigor? I don't think we did. Progenitus, I don't think we did. I think we just got to see, honestly, the wasteland be very good. We saw the snuff out be very good. We saw um, the noxious revival be very good. I think the Thoughtseize was okay. But overall, just like the strength of the deck, right? We played faster than the board. The deck is like significantly faster than before because even if your opponent has removal, you can still power through on turns 2 and 3 with like creatures, right? And just like pressure them every turn. You can't really do that with Glimpse if they have the all removal hand because you're not gonna have the mana if they hit your mana, right? And you're getting your card quality is higher too because mana dorks are better standalone or higher floor than Heritage Druid, which is probably slightly higher ceiling but much lower floor. But yeah, overall, I think I was like pretty satisfied with the way the deck played out. Anybody have any questions? This, I think that's probably it for me tonight. But yeah, we beat Doomsday. We beat Espervile splashing red. We beat what is this deck on? 2 minutes. We beat Doomsday and then we beat DNC. So a pair of Vile decks, a pair of Doomsday decks. And I don't remember what this deck was on. Oh, it looks like Soldier Stompy. And one Chalice deck, I guess, right? Alright. Anybody have any questions? I'll bring up the deck list again. We didn't really see, like I said, how the 4th Bridge Prowler would have been. We boarded it once against DNT, but that's about it. I think we might have boarded it against, Esperval too. Thoughts on swapping a fetch for another basic? I don't think I want another basic. Like, fetch lands are incredibly important for your reclaimers to be 3/4s. Not to mention, I think you want access to Bayou on time for Seize and Snuff Out. So that is not like close on my list. Like I think I've been perfectly happy with 2 forests. And to be honest, if I were to go in any direction, I'd rather go to 1 forest than 3. Like I do not think you need a 3rd forest for like random things like Moon Stompy or whatnot. I just rather play the best cards, right? Like I think 2 is all you need, right? You get the 2nd land down, and the 3rd land, like you're okay with it being vulnerable to Wasteland and non-basic hate. But yeah, the deck felt very good. ESG didn't feel like we missed it. Granted, we didn't play against Moon Stompy. I think the cards are really impressed today. I mean, no surprise. The 0 mana spells, Snuff Out, Noxious Revival. I think C's had like one moment where it's like okay against Doomsday. And then, but yeah, no surprise. Broken spells. Sorry. Oh, Grist was very impressive, I will say. And then Phenars, I think, won like a few games. Where like, you get it on board and then like they run out of removal at some point, right? Because everything in the deck is a removal magnet. Um, and then you eventually win, right? Like, it's nice having a card that is alive even when your opponent has the hate card, which is potentially, Hulk Breacher or like Spear of the Labyrinth, which things like not very good against us actually because we only have two cards that draw. But okay, yeah. Anybody have any questions? Here are my socials again. If you're looking to pick up this deck, the good thing is there's a lot of content on my YouTube page and on Twitch, but granted that only lasts for a month. Also, if you want to you can catch Inigo's stream as well. No problem, Def Nas. I had a lot of fun, and I think I learned a lot. I think definitely the most interesting question was uh, against the Doomsday player. I probably should have held on to the Endurance game 2. no chance, not no chance, no guarantee I win that game, but I think it was the misplay in hindsight. But we correct for it in game three with the Noxious Revival win, right? Um, but they're my socials. I think if you want to learn this deck, the best thing you can do is just watch the videos. That's probably number one, and they're free. I think number two, I think you probably can probably learn a lot from the Patreon. It's only $5 per subscription, and if you're on financial hardship, and but really want to learn the deck, just let me know, and we can work something out. Uh, and yeah, there. In addition to my streams, Inigo streams, who's Run Core, Testacular current streams. Um, er, so thank you for Matt who rated us. He streams as well. He streamed the his version of the list. So he runs a list that foregoes the elf package, so no Wirewood, no Visionary, and he plays more toolbox cards, creatures, and has better mana because he doesn't have dorks. He has Birds of Paradise. The trade-off is you get inherent synergies that beat things like Cage and Opposition Agent. Um, but you get more sideboard slots because I think Matt plays all four endurance main. So if the animator is like big in your metagame, I think that is like one reason to be on that kind of list. Um, Thank you for the follow, Wikipelius. I think another reason to be on that kind of list would be if you like splashing different colors. You want to play more of a blue soup deck, right? Instead of like an elf deck. This is still like partly an elf deck, but that's probably the backup plan. But the backup plan is good against things like Cage and Opposition Agent for what it's worth. 10 arms magic. Yo, what's up, man? Good games in our vintage match. Oh yeah, good games. I got stomped by 10 arms magic in vintage last night, but was able to redeem myself here on stream luckily with the 5-0. Granted, better. I'm probably slightly better at Legacy than I am at Vintage, which I'm still learning the format, but having a lot of fun. Shout out to Justin Ganara here. I'm level 1 for giving some publicity to this deck on Vintage. So with that said, anybody have any questions with regards to deck building? I think I like where the deck is. I don't know what this 75th card would be because we didn't really get any reps out of the 4th Bridge Prowler tonight. Never came up. We boarded it in twice, I think, but again, didn't come up. If there are no more, questions, I will go ahead and raid Ziggy Magic because he's also playing Legacy. And again, thank you everybody for showing out to support tonight to hang out. And I'm glad I was able to hopefully make it worth your while with matchups against 2 Doomsday, 1 Esperval, 1 DNT player, and then 1 Shoulder Stompy player. Alright, so we'll go ahead and raid Ziggy. Thank you. I appreciate that. 10 Arms Magic. Ziggy Magic.